MGX Minerals is revolutionizing the new energy economy with patented lithium extraction technology, replacing traditional solar evaporation using low-cost, low-energy nanofiltration. The first system of this paradigm shift technology is currently being commissioned. MGX Minerals trades on the CSE, symbol XMG, the OTCQB, symbol MGXMF, and Frankfurt, symbol 1MG. For more information, visit our website, mgxminerals.com.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Welcome back to the show, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Health Canada, are they giving us all the updates on radiation dangers from cell phones, cell phone towers, and so on?
Nope, and they never have. Just recently, I went to their website. I was trying to find out something, I can't remember what. And once again, I was shattered when I found that not only do they not have any information up about the most recent studies, for instance, the NTP study, which was called one of the best ever done. It was a 10-year, $25 million study done by the U.S. National Toxicology Program.
How many billions?
I'm sorry?
How many billions of dollars?
$25 million.
Okay, 25 million, okay.
Over 10 years. And then the Ramazzini study that was done in Italy at the Ramazzini Institute, it also was a 10-year study, both of which have just been reviewed, and the NTP peer review panel said that it really was a game changer, and that the evidence that it had demonstrates the fact that microwave radiation is a carcinogen. Neither of these studies is on the Health Canada website. Not even a reference to it. And they've been out now for some time. And instead, I went to look to see, because Health Canada says that they review all the recent studies, and they do their own studies, which is a bunch of baloney. Anyway, I went to look at the page of studies that they've reviewed, and most of them go back maybe to 1980, late 1980s. They have very few from within the last 5 years, but coincidentally, in May or June of 2016, just when the NTP study, the initial report, was coming out, James McNamee, who's the head of the research area there, did his own 5-day study on some mice, and he said that proved that Wi-Fi is safe. They have that study there, but they don't have the NTP study there. And this outrages me. They've done this every year. They've done it ever since I've been looking at it. They have never come through with the real science. And when people care enough to want to try to find out if their cell phones are dangerous or if Wi-Fi is dangerous in school for their kids, the most logical place to go is to Health Canada. And they're being lied to. This is outrageous. And we need to raise our voices loudly about this, because Health Canada, that is their job. You know, Jim, in 2008, I was still communicating back and forth with James McNamee about studies. I was still in the process of trying to figure out what on earth was going on, because I was getting such junk from Health Canada. And I sent him a 10-year study. I think it was a 10-year study. It was a major study done by Dr. Henry Lai, one of the most influential researchers, and his study had shown that there was DNA damage due to long-term exposure to microwave radiation. And I asked James McNamee why Health Canada wasn't doing anything. And James McNamee sent me a very short study. I think it was something like a 10-day study that he did. And he said, see, the evidence is confusing, and my study really challenges Dr. Lai's study and basically says that they weigh each other out. They cancel each other out.
A 5-day study versus 2 10-year studies.
Yeah, and that's not how science works. Just because you've got one study that was promoted by industry, which James McNamee was, he admitted to me that he was hired by Motorola to do research. He works for Motorola, and he works for Health Canada. It doesn't work that because you've got an industry-funded, corrupted study done, that it cancels out another study. And my question to him was, how can you say that something is safe, is truly safe, if there is a good, peer-reviewed, first-class study that says it isn't? And he never responded.
Well,
Health Canada is deliberately misleading people, and our provincial health authorities and our cancer societies take their lead from Health Canada. I dare you to go on the Cancer Society website. I bet you will find the same sort of misleading information. I haven't looked for a couple of weeks, but the last time I looked, the Cancer Society was no better. And there is no place where people can go to get real information. This has to change. And it's up to us, unfortunately, because nobody else is doing it, Jim.
Sharon, is the reason you're concerned about this because they say, what does cell phones have to do with smart meters? Can you maybe explain the correlation or the connection?
Well, see, the NTP study was done with cell towers. It was done with radiation that comes from farther away, from the far field. The Ramazzini study was done with radiation levels that are from devices that we use every day. Smart meters, cell phones, these sorts of things. It was done at exposure levels that we are exposed to in our own homes right now. And it came up with the same results. It increased brain cancers, and it increased a very rare cancer called schwannoma of the heart, as well as other health problems. Cancer is not the only health problem. Smart meters, Wi-Fi in our home, all emit the same type of microwave radiation. And we are being exposed more and more, whether you use your cell phone, and people use their laptops, they use these tablets. All of these things have the same microwave radiation. They may use different frequencies. They may have different powers. One may be more dangerous than the other because of its power and its power density. But they all emit the same microwave radiation. And scientists, for instance, who were acknowledged by the World Health Organization in 2011, where microwave radiation was classified as a 2B possible human carcinogen, they acknowledged it applied to all microwave radiation, not just cell phones or not just cell towers. It's to everything. And our exposures are increasing daily. As we know now, Telus is putting these microcells outside our home. These are, in essence, cell towers that are going to be just feet from our home. This is making our environment absolutely thick with this electropollution. If it were smoke, nobody would stand for it. But unfortunately, we can't see it or smell it or feel it.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after the break.
I'm Greg Johnston, CEO of Carl Data Solutions, an industrial Internet of Things company that provides big data solutions for monitoring critical infrastructure. Carl Data offers machine learning and predictive analytics features through our cloud-based applications to deliver key asset-saving operational insights from massive amounts of data. Carl Data trades on the CSE symbol CRL and the pink symbol CDTAF. For more details on Carl Data, please visit carlsolutions.com.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and the Yukon. Trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the pink symbol ABN-AF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, is there any agency in Canada right now that tracks the incidence and supposed or suspected source of brain tumors?
I don't know. I think that there must be, but I can't find it. I've asked the Cancer Society, and their tracking is so poor, or at least what they've shared with me is so poor that it's virtually meaningless. As you know, the Cancer Society says over and over again in defense of cell phones that the rate of cancer, the incidence of cancer, is going down, which means that cell phones are safe. This just isn't true. It's true that the overall rate of cancers is going down, but scientists believe that this is largely due to the fact that it's lung cancers. Before, say 20 years ago or 30 years ago, so many people still smoked, and lung cancer was a very, very common cancer. And now very few people smoke because they've learned that smoking causes cancer. But now we're getting new devices versus the cell phones that scientists are warning as to be a cause of brain cancers have really only been common for the last 15 or 20 years. And we're going to be seeing more and more people coming down with brain cancers. As a matter of fact, I think if people look in the newspaper or if they talk with their friends, I think they'll see that brain cancers are becoming much more common already. And I've been trying to find some agency that has a historical database so that you could say 30 years ago, 40 years ago, how many people had brain cancers? How many had glioblastomas, which are the ones that are most commonly associated with cell phone usage? I can't find that historical base. Neither can I find out how many are dying or being treated with glioblastomas now. We hear of famous people like Gordon Downey and John McCain and Ted Kennedy, people like that who have glioblastomas, but there are an awful lot of not famous people who are suffering terribly from these things. And I'm sure that the oncologists are reporting them, but I don't know yet where they're tracking them or if I have access to it. I don't want people's names. I want to know what type of tumors, their ages, and if possible, what the doctors think contributed to this cancer. But no, Jim, it is so hard, and I can't find in North America. It's difficult. We're getting statistics from other countries, for instance, in the UK, where they're saying in the last 10 years, I think it was the last 10 years, the incidence of brain tumors has doubled. In Australia, neurologists down there are saying it. They're seeing more and more young people under the age of 20 with brain tumors every week. We're not seeing this information here in Canada. So I'm going to make an effort to do everything I can to start tracking these things. It shouldn't be up to me, and I'm going to only do it until I can find some agency that's keeping track of it. And I would like to ask your listeners to please contact me if they have any information about people who have brain cancers. And what I would like to have is their age, the type of cancers, and any documentation they have. For instance, if it was written up as an obituary, it was written up in the newspaper somewhere. I have a list on our website, which is www.stopsmartmetersbc.com. And it's under our miscellaneous, where there's a list of famous people with brain cancers that I got from someone in the U.S. So they could look there, and if they know somebody else, like Sheryl Crow is on there, Johnny Cochran's on there, there are a lot of baseball players on there who really are exposed to radar. I want to know, am I missing somebody that they know of? And if they know anyone else, please let me know. Mail me at dsnoble@shaw.ca and put on the subject line, brain tumor.
How many famous people are on that list with brain tumors?
I think on Ellie's list there were close to 300 of them. Let me just see. I've got the update right here. She has 361. And those are just the famous people that she's been tracking. And there are some missing. For instance, she doesn't have John McCain on there. But, you know, she's got a lot of people. A lot of them are older. Many are in their 50s. Quite a few in their 40s. Many are in their 60s and 70s. But for instance, you know, she's got, there's someone here who's 35, 37, 37. A lot of very young people. There's a child here who's 3, 29. If people go on here, I think that they'll be shocked to see the number of people. A lot of them are musicians, for instance, who have to have, you know, like the headphones with Wi-Fi when they're playing their instruments. That's what Gordon Downey thought that caused his brain cancer. There are a lot of people who are in radio and television, broadcasters, who also have to wear those Wi-Fi things on their heads. It's a very sad list. And as I said, these are only the, quote, famous people that she knows about. And there are a lot of people on there that she doesn't have. But 361 that she has tracked so far.
What about the kids who work at McDonald's or Wendy's who have those wireless headsets? Can they say no to wearing them?
I don't think so. Or the people at Best Buy. I mean, so many places where you go now, these young kids are wearing these things attached to their heads. And you see them walking through the stores. I mean, it's not just that they're working with them. They're using them casually. No one is telling them how dangerous this is. And the people in places like Wendy's and Starbucks, not only do they have those headphones on, but they're also being exposed to Wi-Fi. Everyone is demanding to be able to have the fastest Wi-Fi possible as they're sitting there having their hamburger or drinking their coffee. So these kids who are still in the younger ages, science has proven that until age 21, the bodies are developing still so quickly, and they are much more vulnerable at the younger ages to these radiation emissions. Not only are they being hit by Wi-Fi, but they're using these headphones, and they're also being hit by the major transmitters that are being put along the sides of their buildings. They're hidden in the cornices, and they're hidden in the signs. And when they go out there and change the signs or work around those cornices, you know, painting or cleaning up the building, they're right next to these transmitters. It's a very, very dangerous situation in many businesses these days.
Sharon, have there been worker compensation cases where people who work on those radio towers have been literally fried by these things?
Not many in North America. There have been in other countries. In fact, in Italy and in Spain, there have been court cases and lawsuits that were won by people who worked in offices, you know, who were exposed to their cell phones, who had to use their cell phones during the workday, or who were having to use their laptops in unprotected areas. And we're seeing more of them. But as far as people who are being exposed to the cell towers and things, very few. There's a very technical member of our group who years ago was exposed accidentally. The transmitter was not turned off, and he was up there working on it or near it for a short period of time, and he ended up with brain cancer. And he's been fighting. He was working for the provincial government at the time, and he's still fighting to get his disability recognized. The government is very lax about these things. And there's a series of YouTubes that I posted a number of years ago that someone sent me surreptitiously. They were at an insurance symposium where the insurance agents were being told about the dangers of having workers get near these cell towers that are hidden on rooftops or are, disguised along buildings. And this insurance company was showing the different areas where they can be hidden. And they're hidden along the edges of buildings. They're hidden under awnings. They're hidden, for instance, in the McDonald's signs. And the insurance agents were told, you should protect your agent, you should protect your companies. Make sure that they have proper coverage so when they're sued by their workers that they're properly insured. No time did they ever go out and say, you should remove these things from your building so that your workers are not exposed. And furthermore, never was this sent out. I sent it out, but I never got a response. I sent it out to several unions because I was thinking people like roofers and painters and window washers, people like that are up there working on these buildings in very, very close proximity to these antennas without even knowing about it. And this is a very, very important thing that people do deserve to know about because, if they're working even for short periods of time with these transmitters blasting away, it's very, very possible that they could sustain major injuries. And it may not come for a few years. They won't realize it. And so they won't be able to make the direct correlation. And the companies can walk away from it.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after this.
Arctic Star Exploration, operated by a team of proven mine finders, is focused on diamonds in Finland and the Northwest Territories of Canada. Work programs are underway in Finland and planned for Canada this summer. Arctic Star trades on the TSX Venture Exchange symbol ADD, on Frankfurt symbol 82A1, and the OTCQB symbol ASDZF. Please visit our website arcticstar.ca or call us at 604-689-1799.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, you have concerns about Huawei telephones, the people who sponsor Hockey Night in Canada. Can you tell us about it and why you're concerned?
I believe you're talking about Telus.
Yes, we are.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
I am very concerned. And the last time I spoke with you, Jim, I told you about the fact that we knew now that Telus is partnering with a Chinese company called Huawei, I think is how you pronounce it. It's spelled Huawei. And intelligence agencies from several different countries, Australia, the U.S., the EU, as well as CSIS here in Canada, are warning that this company is really part and parcel of the Chinese government. It is approved by, it is affiliated with, however you want to put it, and it has been involved with and accused of conspiracy, cyber conspiracy, cyber espionage. And the governments are warning, the intelligence agencies are saying, do not do business with this company. Do not sell its cell phones. Do not do business with it. Yet Telus is not only selling its cell phones, but they are buying transmitters that are made by Huawei and putting these transmitters in the microcells outside our homes. They also are working with Huawei to build the grid for the 5G technology that is being tested right now in Vancouver. I wrote to the board of directors of Telus, and I gave them this information. I gave them letters from the intelligence agencies. I gave them information about Huawei's transmitters. I gave them a lot of information, and they wrote back about a 3-line letter saying that Telus is most concerned about privacy and security. It's their top priority. And they work cooperatively with the Canadian government to ensure that their technology and equipment is safe and secure. Well, I wrote back to them and said that I sent them an article that was provided by a researcher that was published in CBC saying that Canada's, and this is a quote, this is a report that was published on June 16th that warned that nation-states showed the highest sophistication in attempting to undermine the democratic processes worldwide. Against Canada, nationwide states are constantly deploying cyber capabilities to try to gain access to the Government of Canada networks and to our communication networks. And it says the evaluation document was highly critical of Canada's cybersecurity strategy, citing poor information sharing, weak or non-existent record keeping, and an approach that led to confusion and frustration among departments, agencies, and private stakeholders. To me, this says that we should not be counting on the government and what they say. And that is exactly what Telus is doing. They're hiding behind a government that's not doing anything.
Sharon, thank you so much for chatting with us. And again, where can people go for more information about these topics?
They can go to our website, Jim. It is www.stopsmartmetersbc.com. And Jim, I hope that people will get involved with both Health Canada and with Telus about these things. It's only when they have enough voices yelling at them that they will hear us.
Sharon, thanks again.
Thank you so much, Jim.
I've been speaking with Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. You're listening to the Goddard Report on TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Find us on Twitter at TalkDigitalNet. Our popular YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. Questions for the show or our guests, like Sharon, can be emailed to info@howstreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.